Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for What If Raditz Killed Gohan. Now, last time we left off with the group waiting for the attack from the androids, with Yajirobe being shot down much like normal, and the group splitting off to look for them. Now, the first part here goes pretty much how it would in canon, with Yamcha getting Yamcha'd, and the group arriving to try and save him, Yamcha getting healed with a sensu bean, and then everyone heading off into the wasteland. Now, this is pretty much where the canon stops for a while. You see, the battle between Goku and 19 is going to go very differently compared to normal. You see, thanks to the fact that Goku was stronger in the Saiyan Saga, not in his base he was weaker in his base, but in his Wrathful Saiyan form he was stronger than any version of the Gokus in the Saiyan Saga. It led to Dr. Gero being a much more careful, person, and it's made him make the androids a bit stronger. And I've pretty much doubled their strength compared to what I would normally give them. So right now we are dealing with an Android 19 who is twice as strong as the normal one I would give him. Now, this means that Android 19 is very easily able to keep up with Goku, and this version of Goku is managing to go all out without feeling any effects from the heart virus. This is thanks to the likes of Chi-Chi, who has been training with them, and she's been encouraging Goku to take the heart medicine more and more. And this means that the virus would cause no harm and the battle can just continue on. So with the battle pushing out for a while, it grows more and more clear that Goku is going to lose heavily. And soon, Gohan shouts out, realising that his father is going to lose, and flies in, charging headfirst into the android, knocking it back, giving his father a little bit of a hand. Goku's happy that Gohan is here to help, and the father and son duo, both in Super Saiyan, fly towards the android. Using the good bit of synergy they've got, they land powerful blows and begin to push the android back quite easily. They slowly begin to win against the android, with Goku getting up close and personal to the android and putting a huge hole in its chest before he jumps back, leaving Gohan to land a giant kick on the android's head, and this staggers the android even more. And once this has happened, both father and son jump backwards and charge up a massive blast. Upon firing it, Android 19 does go to absorb it. However, thanks to the fact Goku has put a hole in his chest, it's damaged a lot of the wirings inside of him, meaning that the android is very slowly going to absorb it. And this has led him to not being able to make it in time to be able to absorb it. So the android is destroyed. Now, while this battle was going on, Dr. Gero understands that even though he is stronger than them in a 1v1 fight, in a situation like this, they will just gang him up and just try to destroy him. And soon realises that he would be best off going to get more androids to secure this victory. So during the battle between Goku, Gohan and Android 19, he flies off, making sure that he's not seen. And even though the likes of Krillin, Chi-Chi, Yamcha, Piccolo, Tien, all of them realised it, they didn't chase after him just to make sure that Goku and Gohan didn't need any help. Once everyone has finished with the battle that just happened, the Z-Fighters all fly off in the direction that Dr. Gero headed. And at first Dr. Gero was going at quite a leisurely pace, thanks to the fact that he thought he would have a lot of time. But once he sees that both Goku and Gohan are chasing him, he goes full speed, leaving the Z-Fighters in the dust. Thanks to the fact that the old man is double as strong as his canon counterpart, and that leads him to be almost double as strong as Goku, it means that he's able to lose them very easily. And eventually the group give up chasing him. After all, they can't even sense his energy. So for all they know, Dr. Gero could have just taken a left at some point, and they're just sort of flying forwards hoping to find him. And when the group lands, they take some time to catch their breaths. And they are soon joined by the likes of future Gohan and future Goten, who have come back to help, with both Goku and Gohan going on to explain their battle with the androids. But from the description that was given by them and all the other Z-Fighters, it leads future Gohan to believe that there's something different here. The android that he just described, it sounds almost like a different android, because they don't remember ever being told anything about an android like that. And Gohan and future Gohan begin to bounce ideas back off each other, both being pretty smart. And eventually the two do come up with the idea that maybe multiverse theory is in play here, with future Gohan remembering Bulma said that something about it. And this is now sort of what's happening. They're sort of trying to figure out what changes have happened. And after a few minutes, Future Gohan explains how they know where Dr. Gero's lab is, and everyone should head off, and we can probably try and catch the Doctor off guard and take him down before he can have a chance to summon any of the other androids out, if there is any more. With the group managing to find Dr. Gero's lab, they soon realise it's something that went down here. They see a door smashed down, Dr. Gero's body miles away from his head, and 3 empty pods. With Future Gohan and Future Goten walking in to see the numbers on 2 of the pods being 18 and 17, with the 2 figuring out that these are the androids they were here to warn the group about. These are the 2 that they wanted to make sure they were strong enough to fight, and now they're on the loose. And the group, not knowing what to do, they spend a bit of time around here, trying to find anything that might help them in the battle, or just any clues they can have. And eventually this leads them to find the secret underground layer, with them finding the blueprints for the androids, which they do take with them, and also blowing up whatever was left of the lab. Unintentionally, the group killed Cell from this timeline here, not really knowing what it was, but it just gave Krillin the creeps and he wanted to get rid of it. Now, after this is done, the group aren't really sure what to do. They are about to start split off to try and find these 3 androids that are on the loose, but Chi-Chi steps up explaining how she wants to go check on Bulma, who has got Goten, and in case the androids have gone towards her, that's where she wants to go. With Yamcha also agreeing to do this, as he wants to go check on his wife and his newborn daughter, with these 2 heading off towards Capsule Corp. Everyone else splits off looking for any androids or anything they can find in the nearby area, with everyone hoping to find something while also hoping to not find anything. After all, from Gohan and Goten have said, it sounds like these 2 are super dangerous and they need to be very careful about it. After a few minutes of flying around, Gohan sees 2 people on the side of a road, who actually look a little beat up. With Gohan being a very caring person, he heads down to check on them, with the men going into detail explaining how some teenagers, a giant man with a ginger mohawk, just robbed them, took their truck and headed off in that direction. With Gohan not really taking too much of the information in, and makes some minor notes about it, he just offers to give the 2 men a lift to a nearby city, before joining everyone again in the search. Now, for a while the group continues searching, but soon they realise that the androids are probably far gone by now, and they should probably head back to Capsule Corp. With the group going back to catch their breath and fill in Chi-Chi and Yamcha of what they found, while also giving Bulma the blueprints for the androids, with her starting to try and make the bombs. With the group having some time to rest, they all stay around Capsule Corp, hoping to hear any news of the androids. And eventually this leads to Piccolo getting bored, and also getting a warning from Kami, making him head off towards the lookout. With the likes of Goku also getting bored, he decides to do some light training with his sons. He walks up to both his future time-travelling sons and asks them if they would like to have a bit of a spar. With Gohan being okay with this and actually wanting to get some light training in, Goten doesn't really know his father too well but does join, and Gohan from our timeline also agrees to join, with all 4 of them having a little bit of a mess around outside of Capsule Corp, with Bulma warning them not to make any mess. Now, during this time the androids have been just driving. They've been taking their time about things. They're not being pressured by the chasing Z fighters at the moment. Heck, they haven't even run into the Z fighters yet. All they know they want to go do is kill Goku. And once that's done, who knows? They might mess around on the planet for a while, with 16 being very eager to fight Son Goku. Now, it probably takes them a few hours, but they do somehow make it to Goku's house. But they soon realise it is empty, and they decide that the next place to go is Kami House. With 17 managed to convince his siblings to keep using the truck, at least to the ocean, with them being very annoyed about this, but they do agree. They've got nothing better to do. Now, like I said, the androids are taking their time. So when Piccolo arrives at Kami's lookout, it leads to both Kami and Piccolo being a bit reluctant to fuse. After all, they don't really know the strength of the androids right now. And thanks to this, the only reason that Kami wants to fuse is because of the presence of Cell. It has led to Kami being worried over the last few years, and eventually it's the reason Kami accepts the fusion with Piccolo, with this leading to the battle between both Cell and Piccolo, with it not going like normal again. Like I said, every android here is twice as strong as normal, so Cell here has a much bigger advantage over Piccolo, thanks to Dr. Gero making all the androids stronger. And Piccolo does stand a chance, but he has to fight so tactically smart, it's really annoying for him. Not that Piccolo isn't a tactically smart person, but Piccolo's every step has to be considered for him to stay alive. And once the battle gets going a little bit, all Z fighters show up, and this scares off Cell. Even though that Goku, Gohan, and even the Time Travelers aren't anywhere near as strong as Piccolo right now, it's still just a numbers game. So Cell leaves, not before giving the Time Travelers a bit of a weird look, and leaving both Goten and Gohan feeling a bit of deja vu. Now, once this is all said and done, Piccolo gets some rest and gets a senzu bean in him, and everyone begins to ask some questions, with Piccolo filling in as much as he possibly can. First goes on to explain that he's stronger now thanks to the fusion with Kami, but this also means the group have no Dragon Balls anymore. With the group hearing this, they realise that they have to be much safer now and play this game much smarter. And alongside this, Piccolo also goes on to explain how they either need to kill Cell or the androids, as Cell is going to try and absorb the androids, and from what I could hear about it, it sounds like he will become much stronger, and right now he is stronger than Piccolo, who is the strongest of the Z fighters. And this is starting to make everyone panic a little bit. However, luckily for the group, they have the smartest person in the group already coming up with a plan. Goku has a plan. Goku wants to use the hyperbolic time chamber just to get some training in, to close the gap between himself and this Cell guy, apparently, and he is about to ask Piccolo to go in with him, but the Namekian explains how the Sun family should head up alone, while himself and the Earthlings try and find the androids or stop Cell, with Krillin and Yamcha being nervous about this, but understanding that their best bet to defeat the androids is probably to let the Saiyans get some training in, and soon go on to explain how everyone should head up there, even Chi-Chi should go up, just for a bit of, extra firepower up there. However, when the group arrive up there, they do try and talk Mr. Popo about letting all of them in, but he soon goes on to explain how there isn't enough food to feed more than 2 people for a full year, so the best thing to do would be enter in pairs. This does put a dampener on their plans, but Goku doesn't panic, explaining how it will be okay. He shouts out to both Gohans, telling them to head in together, explaining how this will probably help both Gohans learn what their weak spots are, what their openings are, and also goes in to explain how he believes that there might be a form above Super Saiyan. Maybe there's a way to master it, or maybe there's something above it, but push up to at least a minimum master the form. After all, this would help them out by massive amount. And also gives them some ideas on how to do this, thanks to the fact that Goku had mastered the Wrathful Saiyan form years ago. And they head in. Once they are in the room, Goku turns around to his future son and his wife, explaining how they are going to make a quick trip to Bulma's house for some food, with the two being very confused but following his lead. And now in the time chamber we see both Gohans training, with future Gohan showing off some of the techniques he learned over the years, and also pointing out some of Gohan's flaws in his fighting style, which he learned from past mistakes. And younger Gohan also takes notes on this, and also points out some of the openings future Gohan has, with both also unlocking the Grade 4 Super Saiyan form. Being happy with the outcome, they leave the time chamber after a full year of training, with future Gohan coming out with a power level of 9.2 bil, with a power level in Super Saiyan of 460 bil, and Gohan coming out with a power level of 8.4 bil, and in Super Saiyan that leads it to 420 bil. Now, why the day has been passing, all the Z fighters who haven't been training are off searching for the androids, with no luck, which is probably lucky, as they haven't really realised it yet, but they are being followed. Some of them had felt weird feelings throughout the day, but they just summed it up to nerves. But a certain bug has been following them for hours, hoping that they'll find his siblings for him. But so far, the search has been dry. Thanks to the fact, like I said, 17 had convinced the siblings to drive most of the way to Roshi's house, with 18 getting impatient but also calms down once they have a small bit of free shopping. And Android 16 isn't too bothered as long as he gets to kill some Goku. Now, once a day had passed, both Gohans exit the time chamber, and the two are treating each other a lot like brothers right now. They stay in their Super Saiyan forms and give their fathers an idea of what they can do to unlock this form, before heading off towards Piccolo and helping out with the search, with the likes of Goten, Goku and Chi-Chi all heading into the time chamber with the extra bit of food they got from Bulma, with both Goku and Goten training to unlock grade 4 of the Super Saiyan state, while Chi-Chi just trains to keep up with her husband and her son, and doesn't do bad. Now, over time, both Goku and Goten do unlock the form, and continue to train with it, and probably about the 9-month mark, Goku has a crazy idea he wants to try whenever this whole android thing wraps up, but for now it isn't very stable and probably won't do any good if it backfires, so for this reason he's leaving it on the back burner. You see, I want to cover something right now. I want to cover the reason why Goku went in with Goten and Chi-Chi. Goku went in with this version of his son, who grew up without his mother or without his father, and once hearing about this, Goku wanted to give his son some time with his parents, with both Chi-Chi and Goku expressing how proud they are of their son for trying to defend the future, and how proud they are for how strong he's become. They soon get into a very deep, sad moment, and they begin to apologise that they aren't all together in the future. And for the first time in maybe a few years, Gohan does begin to cry. Yes, in his timeline his mother was around, but he was only young, so he doesn't remember everything so well. And he's so happy he gets to spend this bit of time with his family, which leads to the three becoming closer. And this also makes this version of Goku want to train his current Goten, not the future one, the baby kid one, to be strong enough to defend himself and the planet if anything was to ever happen to Goku. And not a full year passes, only about 11 months, but the three leave, with each of them being pretty happy with how they grew. Goku in his base is at a power level of 10 bil, and in his Super Saiyan that puts him at 500 bil. Future Goten is at a power level of 9.6 bil, and in Super Saiyan that leads to him being at a power level of 480 bil. And Chi-Chi managed to push herself up to 5 bil. And once the three leave, they can sense something going on, and they can't really figure it out. It almost seems like a standoff down near Roshi's house. But I'm ending this part here. The group have just exited the time chamber. Something seems to be happening down near Roshi's house, and from what they can tell, it's not good. Now, like I said, I'm ending it here, and I hope everyone enjoyed this part. I quite enjoyed this part myself, actually. I like this life, and I have some fun ideas just to mess around for a while. But like I said, I hope everyone enjoys. I hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you next time.